Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is our day 18 and today we are going to learn about functions part 1. So functions are chunks of code which is executable whenever you call the function with its name. For example, print hello world. In the example, print is the function and we are calling the hello world is the value. Okay, so print is the function name which we are calling and hello world is the value which we have passed to that function. There are two types of functions inbuilt. Okay, so inbuilt means built-in function in Python and user defined, which are custom functions. So syntax of functions: consider functions like remote. When you press a button, channel changes. Just like that, when you call a function, the code executes. Here, syntax of function. So def hello, define is the keyword, or def is the keyword to initialize a function. Then we have a code print hello world and we are calling the function hello. So that's how you can create functions in Python and you can call them later with using hello, this syntax. Okay, so there is the syntax I have mentioned. So let's get started and let's create some functions.
Hey guys, so I am back with my computer and today we are going to learn about functions, which is one of the most important key concept in Python programming, and it is the most important topic. You will see it in you can say in all the programs. Okay, so you can see that in a lot of programs and that's why it is a very important topic. So let us start with functions. Okay, so basically in this previous slide you have already seen what functions are, so let me explain you again. Basically we have seen that print. Okay, so this print is a function. Okay, so what we are doing is we are calling functions. Okay, so basically we are using functions like let's say you are pressing a key on keyboard. Okay, when you press a key, then and only then something happens on your computer screen. Okay, so just like that, when you call a function, when you use a function by its name, only then and then the code in that function will execute. So just like that you can use functions. So I have this code from my previous video. If you haven't watched it yet, then you can find the link in the I button now, and if you haven't accessed my Python programming playlist, then you can find the link in the description below. So let me delete all this code. Okay, so as we have seen that print is a function. Okay, this is a function where this print is the name of that function and here we pass values. So basically let us create a function. So we create a function with using this def keyword. Okay, so def, and here we provide a name to our function. So let us create a function addition. So addition. Okay, so this is our function and here what we will do is we will simply print addition first. Okay, so here our function, here we have this function. So if I will run it, we will see nothing on the output window. Why? Because we haven't called it yet. So to run this we need to call this function like this. Okay, so here now I am calling the function, okay, by using its name and these two brackets. So now I am calling the function and now you can see we get this addition text here. So when we actually call this function, this is called as calling the function. So when we use the name and the brackets, so when we call the function, then and only then the code in this block will get executed. Now here we have simply passed this, here we simply printed this text. Now let us take two numbers. Okay, so every function, okay, not every function, you can these are basically user defined functions. Print, input, type, these are built-in functions in Python, and here we have created this function. So this is user defined function. Okay, so it's not inbuilt function in Python. So in our functions we have arguments and parameters. Okay, so here let us set parameters. Okay, so here let us set, first of all let us set a and b. Okay, so here we are telling Python that this addition function must take two parameters, or you can say two values. So here we should provide two values. Okay, so this is called as parameters. Okay, these two are parameters, and the actual value we pass is called as arguments. So you can say the blueprint is called as the parameters, and the actual product is called as the argument. So basically this is our parameters, and these here we are going to provide our arguments. So let us say 12 and 22. Okay, so here now we have these two parameters and these two arguments. So here we are telling Python that you must execute this function when we call that function. Then we are telling take these two arguments. Okay, so take these two these are the parameters which we want, and you can take these parameters or you can take the arguments here. So we are providing the arguments here, and these are the arguments which we are providing to this function. Now let us print the addition. Okay, so we can either print it or we can use return keyword, which I am going to show you just in a minute. So a plus b. So now we can access these a and b in our function because we have them as a parameters. Okay, so basically we are saying that this addition function takes two values a and b, and hence we are providing it here. So just like our print function takes values here like hi, so this is the value which we are providing to this function. So just like that we can use that function. Now let us save it and let us run it. Now as you can see we get this 34, which is correct. So with using this addition function we have printed it on our terminal. So now you will think, then what is the use of these functions? Why we should use functions? Is there necessary? Is it necessity? So let me tell you that yes, it is. So if you are writing a code where you are adding numbers several times, okay, so if you have a program where you are adding numbers, basically you can say if you have a program which which adds numbers, okay, which adds numbers just like this addition function, and you want to add numbers let's say 50 times, then always you are not going to do like this. So you are not going to print, or you are not going to say a plus b, then you are going to define a and b. So here what we are doing is we are simply calling a function. So now with this we will simply execute this function whenever we need, okay, with change of these values. So we can print addition like this, we can do similarly with this, we can do the same, we can call this function as many times as we want. Okay, so let us say 11 and 50. So here let me run it. So as you can see we get all the additions. So with using functions, that is the benefit of using functions, that we are not repeating ourselves. Okay, we are not repeating ourselves, we are just simply calling our function. Okay, so we have already defined the blueprint, or you can say we already have what processing we have to do. We are simply calling it and we are simply passing the values. So just like that we have printed these values. Now these are the parameters again, and these are the arguments. So let me just clear this. Okay, so now let us create a function which will return something. Okay, so up to now what we have done is, so let me tell you again. Okay, so we have this print function, and here if I will check the type of, let's say a, okay, and let me create this a is equal to 10. Okay, so we have this code. Now let us run it. So as you can see, class int. Okay, so this type function basically returns something which we need to print on the terminal. Okay, here in our previous code we didn't used any return statement, so we didn't print our we didn't pass our function in print function. Okay, so we haven't done like this so far, like 10 and 12. Okay, so here we are not returning anything. Okay, so that's why we didn't print anything, we are directly printing. Okay, the output is directly to print something, but sometimes we need to return something. Okay, So let me just uncomment this code. So many times we need to return something. So to return something, what we can do is we can use this return keyword. Okay, so this return keyword will return something. Okay, so let us say it returns let's say f string. Okay, so f string is basically you can pass variable names in your strings. So let's say a plus b. Okay, so with using these curly brackets you can pass any Python code in here. Okay, and you can also add a string. So let's say addition. Okay, so now we are returning this string. So now you can if you will run this function, nothing will happen. Okay, if you will run this code, nothing will happen, because we are not printing any value, we are simply returning this addition. Now if I want to print it on the terminal, we will use this print statement. Okay, so in our previous code, basically not video, what we did is we printed this addition like this addition, and then we did this a plus b. So here we are directly printing it on our terminal, but here we are simply returning this string. Okay, so this string is now returned as this. Okay, so here we get this string. So now what we want to do, if we want to print it, then we can print it. If we don't want to print it, we can store it in a variable as well. Okay, so you can also do like this. You can say answer is equals to this. Okay, and then you can print this answer on the terminal. So let me run it. So as you can see, you can get the answer here. So you can use this print statement or using this return as well. Both of these are similar approaches. Okay, so here we can return something as we know now. So now let us create several functions. So I will create add. Okay, which is basically for addition. Here I will provide a and b, and here if I want something, if I want to add the code later on, okay, if I don't want to add any code right now, then I can use this pass keyword. Okay, so with this pass keyword, this function will not give an error. Here we are simply saying that this function does nothing, we don't have any code in this function right now, and we move on to our next program. Okay, so here let me create subtract. Let's say a and b, it takes the same values, and here what we want to do is we will basically simply print. Okay, we are not returning anything, we will simply print here. What we want to print is we will print a plus b. Basically we should return it, not print it. So let us return this. So with using this return, we can return it. Now similarly we will do for this add. So return a plus b, and my mistake here, a minus b. And similarly we can do for our multiplication and division. So for multiplication we will do the same, just with this sign, and for division we will do the same, just with this sign, and this sub should be changed to division. Okay, now we have these functions. Now what we can actually do is we don't have to always print this. Okay, so what we can do, if we have like this, if we have an expression like this, let's say 2 plus 50 into 10, okay, or okay 10. So what we can do now, we don't need to do anything weird like this, or we have to print, or let's say if you have to print something addition, or if you want to do these operations several times in your programs, then you can simply use this function. You can simply add, let's say 10 and 20, and you can simply print it. Okay, so just like that you can use these functions. So here let me run it. Here you can see 30. So just like that you can use these functions in your programs. So definitely try creating some functions like adding two strings, then adding two numbers, then try using some boolean values in here. So just like that, try creating different types of functions, and you can also take help of internet. And this was the part 1 of this video, and I will upload part 2 further soon. Okay, so with that said, we have successfully completed our today's video. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.